Hey y'all, welcome back to At the Table Podcast, a virtual table where we discuss all things young adulting. My name is Fikayo and thank you so much for having me back in your ears. Alright you guys, oh my goodness. First off, you guys know I always thank you guys for just being right here with me again, coming back week after week. But it really does mean a lot to me because I wouldn't be doing this without you. Now, I know this might be a lot, but if you could please just follow me on whatever you're listening to me with, and also rate me. That really helps me just grow on all the streaming platforms, and that would be so great for me, and you would make my little heart full. All right, so in this podcast episode today, we are going to be talking about consistency. We're going to be talking about why it's important, and also tips and tricks on how I incorporate consistency in my life. How about that? Okay, but of course, before we start all of that, we have to do our segments. And have you been praying? If you are not familiar with this segment, essentially here at the table we pray, we say grace. So that is why we are doing this. And lately I have been praying for discipline and consistency. Those two words have been my words for this year. I am just so happy because I do feel like I am growing in my discipline and my consistency, and those things are so important for a successful, well-lived life. So I'm thankful to God for where He has brought me to as far as my consistency and discipline journey, and I am hoping that God will help me be more rooted in my consistency and discipline. I will no longer answer by the name of procrastinator. I will no longer be that person that pushes things off. I do things when I'm supposed to do it at the right time so that they don't stress me out, right? Yeah. Okay, now on to our next segment, and that is what have you been snacking on? And lately, let me tell y'all something. I have been snacking on Carly Russell. Carly, you are in trouble. And you know what? I'm not going to say nothing because it ain't my place. But that's all I'm going to say. Carly, you in trouble, girl. You are in so much trouble. If you don't know who Carly Russell is, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you live under a rock. I'm not sure. But that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. I would suggest go search her up and go follow that whole story. But Carly, you are in trouble. That's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say. All right, y'all. Let's go into our main topic. Hold on. Actually, I have to catch you guys up first. I don't know. Life has been going very, very well. I'm really, really happy. Nothing new has really happened. Y'all knew I was taking classes. Yeah, I took classes. I got a 4.0 for the summer semester. So, yay. And I don't know. Life is doing its thing, and God's been pretty great. So, all right. Now we can start our topic for today, shall we? Hold on one second. Editing Fikayo here. Y'all know here at the table we do not play about mental health, and I just wanted to take a moment to recognize our sponsor, BetterHelp, who is dedicated in making therapy more accessible and affordable for everyone. BetterHelp is an online platform that provides therapy services right from the comfort of your own home. With BetterHelp, you can connect with a licensed therapist who specializes in various areas such as anxiety, depression, relationship issues, trauma, and much more. And you can do it from the convenience and flexibility of your own home. Personally, I have had the opportunity to experience the benefits of BetterHelp firsthand. When I signed up, I was able to specify my preference for a Christian therapist, and they matched me with an incredible woman who made a profound impact on my life. The weekly sessions and group therapy were invaluable to my personal growth. I also loved the feature in the app that allowed me to journal, knowing that my therapist would be able to review it before our next session. If you're feeling unsure about where to start, or if something is interfering with your happiness or your goals, therapy can provide you with the tools to approach your life in a different way. BetterHelp understands the challenges of finding a suitable therapist, especially when it's limited to locational options. And that is why they have made the process easier than ever. Simply fill out a few questions and they'll match you with a professional therapist within just a few days. To sign up and get matched with a therapist, visit betterhelp.com/Fikayo. By using the link in my podcast description, you'll not only be supporting this channel, but you'll receive a special offer of 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. It is important to note that finding the right therapist is just a bit like dating. If you find that your initial match isn't the perfect fit, don't worry. It is easy to switch to another therapist without the stress of dealing with insurance or any type of limitations. So if you're struggling and seeking support, I highly recommend considering online therapy with BetterHelp. Just click the link in my podcast description or visit betterhelp/Fikayo. And yeah, once again, I want to express my gratitude to BetterHelp for supporting At the Table podcast for their commitment to improving mental health access for all. Now, let's get back to our conversation. All right, y'all ready? Well, okay. So let's be real. Consistency is not easy, but it is the unsung hero of personal growth and success. It's like climbing a little mountain. If you keep on doing it day after day and month after month and week after week, it really does take you to places. And I know it's not the most glamorous thing, but honestly, it impacts you so much. When I think about all the things I've accomplished in my life, whether it's big or small, consistency has honestly been my companion. Like, it's been what got me through it. It's been the glue that has held me together and propelled me forward. And you know, when things get tough, sometimes they really do get tough, and you need a structure and a routine that will help you get through that. That's what consistency has always been for me. And sometimes it is like a little roller coaster as well, and we have our little ups and downs. But honestly, being consistent and having that ingrained into me has been what's been able to help me weather my storms with grace. Consistency has been able to provide me structure and discipline. It's been like me building a strong foundation for my dreams to one day flourish on. Day by day, I'm building, or I'm laying one brick after another, creating something incredible, a masterpiece that honestly is truly mine. I really couldn't do it without discipline. Let me tell you, the benefits of discipline are life-changing. For starters, it builds momentum. Have you ever noticed how when you start something and you stick with it, you gain more energy? It's like positive feedback loop that keeps you going no matter what obstacles go in your way. Yeah, consistency also breeds confidence. Like, when you show up for yourself consistently, you develop this sense of trust in your own abilities, and you learn to rely on yourself, and you have that self-assurance that spills into every aspect of your life. That confidence really does begin to radiate from the inside of you all the way out. And you know what the most magical thing is? Consistency fuels progress. It's that little voice in your ear saying that you're making progress, honey, keep going. And before you know it, you've already achieved something incredible that you probably never thought was possible in the beginning. Now, to be honest, let's be real, being consistent is not easy. There will be days where you don't feel like it, and when motivation feels like a distant friend, but to be honest, that's completely normal. When I started running, it was one of the hardest things I could ever do. But when I came into, I think it was 2023, I think I've talked about this before, but I was crossing over into this new year, and I realized that I absolutely sucked in consistency and discipline, and that was painful. It was absolutely painful. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to be consistent and disciplined in something. Let me start with running. And at that point, I needed to start exercising anyway, because I was getting much bigger and health problems and blah, 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 blah. But I was like, okay, I'm going to start running, and I'm going to be disciplined, and I'm going to do this thing every single day, first thing I do. And when I first started, it was really, really hard. But as I continued to do it, it got easier. And as I continued to know, like, how far I needed to run, as I continued to be able to make landmarks in my running, when I started getting more invested in running, that I started watching more YouTube videos, listening to people who talked about running, things that made it easier, mental motivations for running. I honestly was able to get better at it and better at it and better at it. And now I run a mile, and I'm not going to tell you how long, because to some of y'all, it might be a little too slow, and I'm not ready to be embarrassed. But I run a mile in almost a third of the time that I did when I first started. So like consistency is so important, and honestly the key is to just keep moving forward, even if it is just one step, one hard, painful, sweaty, annoying, tiresome, disrespectful step at a time. Just keep on moving forward. That's it. All right, so now I'm gonna give y'all five tips and 5 tricks. No, I'm not. I'm gonna give y'all 7 tips and 5 tricks to help you with your consistency, okay? And these are things that I use for myself, and we're gonna talk about them and we're gonna go through them, okay? All right. So, well, my consistency tip number 1 is set clear goals. You have to start with the vision. Define your goals, whether that be big or small, and make them honestly as specific as possible. And when you have a clear target in mind, it becomes easier to chart your path and stay focused. For example, I had a very specific weight goal. I'm not gonna say it, but I have that goal, and I still haven't even reached it yet. But the work isn't done until I've gotten there, you know? It's just not done. That's the beginning and the end of it. And every single day I make sure that I'm working to get to that goal. I have a very specific achievement thing that I'm trying to do by the end of this year. There's a very specific goal I'm trying to reach by the end of this year. Can't say it, but very, very specific. There is no blurred lines, and I know exactly how to do it. So I need to make a beeline to that goal. And I find that that helps me so much, especially as someone who I can get distracted very easily. When I literally set beelines to whatever goal I'm trying to get to, I get there, one, and I get there faster than I would have if I just maybe made the goal vague and wasn't necessarily specific about what I wanted to do. My consistency tip number 2 is create a routine. And I know routines might sound boring, but trust me, it honestly is a secret weapon. I would say establish a daily and a weekly routine that aligns with your goals, and have set schedules that give you a roadmap to success and keep you constant in your progress. So I have both daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly routines that I follow. Maybe one day this is going to be a podcast in of itself, but daily I have a morning routine and I have a nighttime routine. And I've said it before on this podcast, but I treat my day like it's a hamburger, right? The beginning of my day and the end of my day have to be the same. I just for my sanity's sake, I need it to be the same. I just have to have it the same. Like a hamburger, right? The bread at the top, bread at the bottom, and everything else in the middle can be whatever. It can be all of the days of whatever. I don't care. But the beginning and the end have to be the same. And in the beginning, I have time for myself. And at the end of the day also, I have time for myself. So whatever crap the day tries to throw at me, that's fine. But I'm going to have a great morning and I'm going to have a great evening. And that's how, that's how I live my life. And that's how I've been able to genuinely stay pretty happy. I start my days and I end my days the same way. And it's been honestly amazing. Another thing is my monthly routine as well. I implement days, very, very specific days into my routine, my monthly routine specifically, that I just need to get done. Like, if I need to schedule a hair appointment, I do that in the beginning of the month. If I need to get my nails done, I have my nails scheduled for once a month, really, to be honest, once a month. I schedule all of those things in. I schedule in rest days. I kind of know my Saturdays are also by the first of the month, my Saturdays for that month are already probably fully booked. So I know what I'm going to do every Saturday. I know that I'm going to go on a hike every Saturday, things like that. I know Sundays are my reset days. I know Friday I do my podcast and I post everything about my podcast. Also, I don't work on Fridays, so I'm able to just focus on my podcast on Fridays and think of new ideas and so on and so forth. But these structures that I've implemented into my life really help me be able to just anchor my life. I find that when my morning and my night is just it's a mess. My whole day, my whole life is a mess. But when I'm able to anchor my life in like this, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. All right, consistency tip number 3, I'm going to start moving a little faster now, is start and celebrate wins. Oh my gosh. Do not be overwhelmed with the big picture. Break your journey into smaller, manageable tasks and celebrate each win along the way. Those small victories, they really do add up, and they keep you motivated. Like, even with this podcast, I think I'm about to hit 20 episodes, which is kind of insane because I don't know what we've talked about for the last 18, but here we are. And I'm so proud of myself because, yeah, I think I've told you guys, but I've tried to do podcasts before, and I kind of started it, and then I kind of got discouraged or something, or someone says something to me and it makes me really, really insecure, and I stopped the whole thing. But no, not this one. This one, we've been able to almost make it to 20, which is amazing. It's phenomenal. And I'm so excited about that. And it's not about the millions and thousands of listeners, but it's about the couple I have now. Because the couple that I have now are the ones that are going to turn into the thousands and the millions. So let's celebrate. Why not celebrate everything? Celebrate finishing another semester of school. Celebrate buying a new car, even though maybe it wasn't your dream car. Celebrate even just that car. I don't know. Celebrate your birthday. Celebrate everything. Honestly, everything. Okay. Another thing is embrace accountability. You know, it's funny. I was talking to a friend about this as well today, and I told her that in almost every facet of my life, I have some type of accountability. In education, I did really well when I went to my advisors often, and I felt like, I had to have someone accountable for me, and I had to have someone that I reported my grades to. That really helped me. Even my therapists, like being able to tell them that, oh yeah, I made this accomplishment this month, or I'm trying to procrastinate, or I am procrastinating this specific thing. Please make sure that by next week I've done this thing. And obviously sometimes my therapist might like text me and be like, Addie, don't forget to blah 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 blah. But for the most part, every single time really, because I know that I have told someone that I need to do this thing, or someone knows that I need to do something, or someone knows I need to make this grade, or someone knows, it gives me just that little extra push in the butt to actually make sure I do it. And I know that about myself. So now in everything, I make sure that I always just have someone that's standing behind me in case I fall. They're able to push me back up. You get it? All right. So what I wrote here was find an accountability partner or a support system that can keep you on track. Sharing your progress and your setbacks with someone can provide you with that extra push you need to keep going. And that's the beginning and the end of it. Consistency tip number 5, learn from setbacks. Let's face it, setbacks are inevitable. Instead of seeing them as failure, view them as valuable lessons. Analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and use those setbacks as stepping stones to improve. That is so true. There's this quote that says, failure just shows you what didn't work. That's the beginning and the end of it. I used to be one of those people who I just couldn't even handle the fact that I didn't do well, or the fact that I failed at something. Oh my gosh, what? I couldn't handle it. Until I failed a few times, and I failed pretty badly. And I realized that these things, they don't paint a full picture of who I am. But you know what is going to paint a great picture of who I am? How I get up from these things that have crushed me. That's why I think it's really important that you learn from your setbacks, because it's that learning that is the value of that setback. It's not the fact that you failed, but it's the fact that you got something from it and you're still moving forward. Okay? All right. Consistency tip number 6, stay positive and stay kind. Consistency is a journey. It's not a race. Be kind to yourself on this path of growth. Positive self-talk and compassion and grace really go a long way in sustaining your commitment. This specifically has been something me and my therapist have been working on for years now. Literally just pushing away those negative thoughts, and also giving myself grace. Like, it's okay. You're fine, Addie. You're doing great. You are literally doing great. It may not be to your expectation. It may not look the way you want it to look, but you still tried, or like you're pushing yourself too hard, or you're expecting a lot from you. Let's relax and let's look at the good things. I've really come to learn that speaking well about yourself, especially that internal dialogue, is so important, especially just for your development. So important. So please just be mindful of that. And consistency tip number 7, the last one, baby, is visualize your success. Picture of yourself achieving your goals. Visualization is a powerful tool that can boost your motivation and keep you focused on the rewards of staying consistent. I heard somewhere, he said, visualizing will help you paint the picture, but consistency is what's going to get you there. But you need to be able to have that picture, at least kind of figure out what it kind of looks like. Oh, what does it say? There's a quote. It's like, if you don't know where you're running to, you're going to get lost. Yeah. Know where you're running to. Know where you're trying to go. It doesn't even have to be a full picture. You don't have to have like all of the every single pixel of what it's going to look like. No. But at least know, I've got somewhere to go, and this is where I'm trying to go. And maybe you'll fall somewhere along the stars. You know what they say? They say shoot for the moon so you'll fall somewhere near the stars. I used to love that because, well, it's true. Visualization, my dear. All right, so we're going to go into my 5 consistency tricks, and we are all done, honey. Okay, so consistency trick number 1 is set reminders. Use technology to your advantage. Set reminders or alarms on your phone to prompt you into taking action towards your goals. These gentle nudges can be game changers. These gentle nudges can be game changers in maintaining consistency. That is so true. I have alarms, well, not for everything, but for my nighttime routine specifically, because I will be on doing whatever till after 9. Oh, so I fall asleep, or I start to begin to wind down at 9 o'clock. So I have an alarm for that, because I just know that when that alarm rings, I need to be either headed in the shower or like putting lavender in my candle warmer. I don't recommend that, by the way. But like getting my nighttime together. I can do whatever before 9, but at 9 o'clock, we are winding down, and at 10 o'clock, by 10:30, we are in bed, and by 10 o'clock, by God's grace, we are asleep. But these are things that really help. These are things that really help. Another consistency trick I use is to create a reward system. Now, reward yourself for staying consistent. Treat yourself to something you really enjoy after you've accomplished a milestone. Positive reinforcement makes the journey more enjoyable and keeps you eager to keep things going. For me, a really great reward system I have is kava. Every Thursday, if I run 4 days in that week, I get to buy myself kava on Thursday, and I love kava so much. And I shouldn't be spending money because I should be saving, but because I've been so good, if I ran 4 days a week, I give myself kava. It's so good. But yeah, that's my little reward system, and I recommend everyone should have some type of reward system for being good, Consistency trick number 4 is embrace flexibility. Life happens, and it is okay to adapt. Be flexible with your approach and find ways to work around your challenges. Consistency does not always mean perfection. It means staying committed despite obstacles. Okay. And consistency trick number 5 is surround yourself with inspiration. This is so big, you guys. But expose yourself to inspiring stories, podcasts, books, and people who motivate you to be consistent. Surround yourself with positivity and inspiration to help you keep that greatness fired inside of you. And this is really like my biggest life hack. Like, I tell my friends this all the time. I live in a bubble, and I love my bubble. But if you are deemed a bad influence, I will not be hanging out with you. If you you are deemed someone that will be a threat to my mental state, my consistency, my discipline, I can't handle that. I don't want any parts of that. If you feel like you might be toxic or unhealthy, I don't do that. I just don't be around you, because at the end of the day, my biggest priority is Fikayo, and I need to make sure that Fikayo's okay, and I need to make sure Fikayo gets to wherever she's going, And I have really big plans for this girl. She has to be constantly inspired. She has to be constantly motivated. Oh my goodness, I read something or listened to something the other day, I think it was yesterday, and he was like, don't study these great men just to study them. Study these great men so you can be the next great man. And that is so true. Surround yourself with great stories of people who conquered amazing, phenomenal, life-changing things, limitations. Surround yourself with people who, beside all odds, or what was the English? I don't even know. But like, against all odds, they still did it, Against all the limitations, they still did it. Find people with similar stories as you, with similar passions, with similar skin as you, who talk similarly to you, and people who did things right with their lives. And follow that. Do what they did. Follow whatever they did, and use that as a roadmap. But that's what I've been doing, and I love it so much, because it's their words of constant encouragement, and their stories that constantly push through my head, and it's a great experience. It really, really is. It really is. It really is. It really is. It helps me put a lot of things into perspective, and helps me know that, like, I have the whole world ahead of me to be whatever, to create whatever, to do whatever. And they make me so excited to be able to do that. But yeah, those are my 7 consistency tips and my 5 consistency tricks. But I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I really, really hope that you're able to pull something from this. If you ever have any questions, you know what to do. DM me or the podcast. But yeah, I think this is it. No, it's not it, actually. Remember, we started that new segment last week, W for the week. Okay, so I wasn't able to ask you guys. Maybe on Friday I'll remember to ask you guys, so that in the next episode, no, not in the next episode, because we have a guest coming next episode, actually. But in the episode after the next episode, I'll ask you guys what your W's for the week was. But my W this week was, I got all A's in the class I'm taking, or the classes I was taking. We'll talk about all of the things later when you guys see. But I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself. Like, it just filled me with an immense amount of happiness to be doing the thing, to be doing so well in school. I'm happy, But yeah, my dears, that is it for this week. That is it. I think it is time to wash off the dishes and clear the table. To see the face behind the voice, please follow me on Instagram at Fikayo. To follow the podcast as well, it is @thetable_pod. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please don't be afraid to DM me. What else? The stars. Please follow me. Please subscribe to my podcast. Please give us ratings. It's really important. We really like them here. They help me get seen more, and I would really like to get seen more on this podcast. What else, my dear? I think nothing else. I think that is all the house cleaning that we have to do. All right. I love you, right? I really do. Okay. And that is it. Don't forget. Pray all the time and laugh really loud.